Hey guys, it's OK.Fishing here. I'm Christian.
And I'm Jaden, and welcome to Echoes in the Timber.
So, we have been doing a lot of fishing and a lot of partying. It was 4th of July weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed America's 250th birthday. I know we did. We were out on the lake. I was out on the lake multiple times, and I don't think I'd rather be doing anything else. Just We had a bad storm roll through, and that changed some fishing patterns. We'll go into that in a minute. I think this storm influenced my success I had Sunday. I feel like it probably did. I think that may be why Sunday was such a good day. And maybe Saturday, the day before, and the day after wasn't the same. But let's get right into it, okay? Um, as you guys have seen, we have different segments for these episodes, and we are getting into a groove. This is episode 6, and that means we have doubled the average. The average podcast is 3 episodes. We've doubled it now. We're on 6, okay? Hopefully it just goes up from there. It's a mouthful. It really is. So, the conservation funding for bass fisheries, Bass Nation (BASS) and AFTCO announced 25,000 in conservation grants for 7 state organizations. Projects include fish habitat improvements, stocking largemouth bass, oxygen systems for tournament fish care, and restoring aquatic vegetation. Commercial fishing regulations could change. The U.S. government announced plans to reduce regulations on parts of the commercial fishing industry, including reopening some areas that have been closed for decades. Supporters say it'll help American fishermen, while critics worry about impacts on fish populations. Um, well, let's stop right there. What are you kind of thinking about that?
Well, for the whole improving the habitats for the fish and everything, that could be good because some of the lakes we have around here don't have very good, like Lake Hudson. Like there's bass there. They have tournaments there and stuff, but is it as good as some of the other lakes in
No,
Oklahoma? It's not.
no, it's not. It
It's
really
not,
isn't.
and it's because the bass there's only a few areas with good bass habitats in that lake.
Yeah. But what about the regulation? So from the sounds of it, it's gonna allow like commercial fishing industry. So maybe crab boats, their limits upped or something. Maybe they can keep more crabs. I don't know exactly what it details, but uh, it might not really help us because we're just feeding our family. We're not making money for our family. If we were out on a boat catching stuff like specifically to sell, it would be a little different. But we're definitely not commercial fishermen. We're not
No.
no Phil Robertson. We've we're on a different path. Hopefully, it involves money, but probably not. Um, I don't really know. I don't know a whole bunch about it. And I got an update. This is definitely big. The Peace Act in Oregon received 140,000 votes. So I talked about it a couple weeks ago. They were at 123 and they needed 117,000. Now they're well above the threshold. So more than likely, we're going to see it in ballots in August, August 3rd. So if you are in Oregon, please vote against it. And this will be a huge change in the fishing community. We're talking about in less than a month, we're going to know if Oregon has banned fishing and hunting. It's going to be on the ballot. And this is where we need to step up. no matter if you're from Oregon or wherever you are, you need to defend fishing. You need to defend hunting. This is serious. This is not
Well,
something that
it's farming,
joking around.
everything.
Yeah, you're it's
Anything
basically
that you do that involves an animal, it's gonna jeopardize that.
yeah.
Hunting, fishing, farming, rodeos, anything.
We need to stand up, guys. It is not good what's happening. But let's talk about this. New fishing regulations are taking effect. Several states, including Arkansas, have released updated 2026-2027 fishing regulations effective July 1st. If you're planning trips outside Oklahoma, it's worth checking the new guidebooks before you go. So just remember, you can get used to fishing every year, but those regulations could just change on you. That's why it's important to check the regulations multiple times a year, and preferably before you go fishing. When you plan on catching a bunch, double check yourself. Make sure you're confident that you know the amounts, because it could change. It really could, and you could end up in a lot of hot water. That, or like the other day, I caught my limit and stopped fishing. Well, come to find out, the limit is 20 hybrids. I thought it was 15. I could have caught 5 more fish, and I was catching and releasing at that point. So, because of my stupidity, I lost out on 5 fish. I think that's better than being 5 over, though.
Yeah.
Definitely. But that's a reminder of, you need to pay attention. You need to double check that you're getting everything right, that you know the amounts, because like if spoonbill becomes more than 2 a year, I might start keeping more spoonbill a year. Like, I think that really causes me to not keep a spoonbill. I've kept one spoonbill this year, and
I kept my two, but I cleaned one and gave it to a family member.
yeah, which is something. If you guys are like, just the other day, I went fishing. All that fish we caught went to my cousin's grandpa, because he can't eat a lot of types of meat. He actually can't have any meat, but he can have fish. So I don't want to see someone without meat. Poor guy, stuck as a vegetarian. Dude needs something. So I made sure he got some fish. Here's another thing. ICAST 2026 starts next week. The sport fishing industry's biggest trade show, ICAST, runs July 14th through 17th in Orlando, Florida. This is where companies unveil new rods, reels, electronics, kayaks, trolling motors, and lures for the coming year. Expect a flood of new gear announcements next week. We see some crazy stuff. Last year, the Old Town Pedal Drive Pro was announced, and that was a really big development for the fishing community. Old Town was very, I guess you want to say, classic. You might not know a lot about it, but they don't have a lot of rail mount space. Like, you look at my kayak, it's a 2023 kayak, and it has maybe 36 inches of rail space. The new kayak, you're looking at, like, it's over 100 inches, because it runs basically the whole length of the kayak. So you can put things everywhere on the kayak. It makes customizability, which is kind of the future of where kayaks are going. You need a platform that you can upgrade, because some people, they can't throw in the money for the top of the line at the start, like what I'm doing. I started with a lower end. Um, let's get it focused back on me. See if you can wave. Get it to go back to the green light.
This thing.
Oh well, forget about it.
I think a new camera would be in the upcoming announcements.
Yeah, we might look into a new camera. Definitely something. That'll probably be another month or so, though. At least for me. Okay, so Yeah, kayaks, you want to buy a platform you can upgrade. If you plan on getting a trolling motor, make sure you do your research. Can the kayak you're looking to buy, can it support a trolling motor? That way, when you go out and buy the kayak, you don't just buy a kayak you like at the time and then later find out you have to buy a whole brand new kayak to put a trolling motor on. That would suck, you know? Like, the biggest thing really though is weight. What is the weight allowance on the kayak? The more weight allowance, the more gear you can put on. The size, the more gear you can put on, the bigger it is. That's one of the big things to pay attention to. I don't care what brand you buy. I have an Old Town just because they're trusted and reliable, but in all honesty, whatever your budget fits, just buy it. Just consider what your future is. What are you going to do with that kayak? Are you just testing the waters, or do you know you're going to stick with it? If you know you're going to stick with it, maybe consider spending a little more than you normally would, you know? Okay, but I guess that's all for announcements. I guess I can continue in the bulletin. Most places are still flooded. That's so that is affecting our fishing. Its catfish are still good right now. Sand and bass are chasing shad into shallow water. So you need to fish those shallow water that might be deeper because of it's flooded. So like just just chase the shad and you'll find the fish. That's the biggest rule for summer fishing. Summer, spring, I get better luck chase the minnows, chase the smaller bait fish. But for the summer, they're feeding on those shad, and because shad are spawning, I think, and they spawn a lot more during the summer. That's right, right?
Yeah, and they come out a lot more in the warmer water, so that warmer water heats up more when it's shallow.
Yeah. Um, let's get into our third segment, catch of the week. So I was out Sunday with my cousin, and he starts screaming. I look over, and his ultralight is bent over, and it's rip and drag, and he's sitting there fighting the fish, and I he he fights it for a while, and he finally lands it on 4 pound line, mind you. I come over there and I hand him my scale, and the fish it's a great looking hybrid, and it weighed 4.34 pounds. Pretty crazy. That's a good hybrid to be the biggest one I've seen in person. I haven't seen one bigger, so
Yeah,
that's a really good fish, and he's actually leaving next week. So the fact he gets to leave on a note like that is definitely gonna shoot him to the rocket. Shoot him to the moon because that's a good note to leave on.
it's not the biggest hybrid in Oklahoma, but for that lake, it is certainly one of the biggest you're gonna find in that lake.
Yeah, I mean there might be bigger, but you actually catching them, it's a
Yeah,
different story.
that lake is a heavy pressure lake.
Um, but I know we just extended our bulletin a little longer. Let's get on to gear the table. I know this might take up a bit of time, so gear on the table. We're not sponsored, and we definitely are not paid or anything. We're just trying to help you guys out. Same thing, you know, I care about you guys. I want you guys to get what will help you catch more fish. It's not what will make you look better, it's what will help you catch fish. That's the goal. So, gear on the table, won't it fit on a table?
Yeah, we'll just have to put a picture in of this.
Yeah.
We've got pictures. We'll put one in, but
Um,
this we're not dragging this in the house.
so, I started off with it kayaks. Um, I started off with a Ascend kayak, and that was my first kayak that I really bought and upgraded for fishing. He has used it, so I'm going to let him explain it, and then I'll explain my newer setup. So if you want to try and kind of tell them things you've learned about it, things that could be better, things that.
Well, it's it's not like it's not a sit on top. It's so you can't stand to fish out of it, but it's it's got really durable plastic, and it's it's not like the most expensive kayak, but it's like a step up from like the really cheap ones. So those really cheap ones, like when you're out on the water and wind gets it, it kind of you have to work a little harder against the wind and stuff like that. But this kayak has a little more body to the plastic, and it's got a little more weight to help kind of just cut through the wind. But overall, it seems a lot more durable than your base model kayaks like the Pelicans and stuff like that. But when it comes to fishing out of it, you get good rod holders and everything. It'd be a really decent kayak to fish out of for anybody that gets it.
Yeah, so I bought it on Facebook Marketplace, which I will tell you this. If you're looking to get into kayak fishing and you haven't been kayak fishing for a while, I would say if you're looking to get into it, you either, if you're going to buy brand new, just stay simple, buy a Pelican or something, buy a Lifetime. But if you're looking to get into it and you think you will like it a little more, go to Marketplace and you can find a Ascend. The specific model is the Ascend 10T sit-in kayak. And if you're lucky, you can find it for $180 to 220 around there if you're lucky. I actually paid 240 for it and another kayak. Um, I think it also came with a fish finder, but you don't need a fish finder starting off. You just need a kayak. You want a rod holder, without a doubt. You want a place to put your rods. And hopefully a place you can make a homemade kayak crate. I have one. I didn't make it. The guy, previous owner, made it. But you can hold multiple rods. I think with it and with all the rod holders, you can hold maybe
Four.
four rods. Yeah. Although I would say three because that front rod holder I use to like so I can just put my rod somewhere
Well, it's
and
got
keep it
there's two
stored.
on the crate, and then there's
Yeah.
two on the actual kayak. So
Yeah.
and then you can have one like a smaller one by your leg or
Yeah.
something if you wanted to.
So when I fished out of it, I had three on the front. I had one on the side, a wire that held my fishing net, and then I had the one right here that was my main one. It kept my rod right there, and I was able to just hold it. The left side was for trolling, but trolling ended up being really hard in a paddle kayak. If you want to troll, you probably shouldn't get a paddle kayak, or you should get a good solid rail mount and probably buy something by Yak Attack. Buy something strong that you can trust your rod to hit, but you just gotta be able to kayak and paddle with it. But that I would say just get a kayak that's comfortable. That's the most important part. That seat, that's not a basic seat. That a seat in the Ascend is an actual like very similar to my Old Town kayak, which is leagues higher in price, but that seat is ridiculously comfortable. You can sit in it for a while. How did you feel at the end of the day yesterday?
Tired, but for a different reason.
Arms, catching so many fish.
Yeah, that, and we had some we had an oar issue with the paddles.
Oh yeah, that look into a decent set of oars. If you're buying and you're buying a kayak and it doesn't come with oars, go to Walmart. Walmart sells these paddles by Ascend, um, and they are pretty good paddles. There's also some by Pelican that are pretty good too. buy the ones that are longer and have the curved. Don't buy the ones with the straight blade. If you buy the ones with the straight blade, you're just gonna splash water on yourself. And also, it's short, so it's probably 220 centimeters, 230. Like it's ridiculously short. My other two paddles are 240, and then my main paddle is 250. So that's really like it depends on the size of the kayak. But let's go into the Old Town kayak. So mine is really rigged out for fishing. I have a Black Pack Pro. I have a fish finder. I have two rod holders for trolling. I have a anchor cleat. That's one thing. Always put a cleat on your kayak so you can tie ropes to, tie anchors to. But I have a pedal drive system. I have let's see, what else do I have? A anchor system by Yak Attack that allows you to put the anchor in the front or the back of the boat. And I guess that's it. Yeah. But I can stand in it and fish. I can troll. I can be out on the water all day, and my arms don't get tired because it's my legs. It's hands free fishing. I can sit there. If you have a trolling motor that isn't powered by your legs, and you have to reach back, it's harder to fish because you've lost one hand. You can turn it on and keep it going straight, but sometimes you'll turn. But like with mine, I can just pedal, and if I start to turn left, if I start to turn left and I'm on a fish or something and can't reach down and to turn, I can just backpedal. And typically backpedaling will go the opposite way I'm turning. So it can kind of stop me and get me situated. But yeah, it's a different league. I would say it's more for the people that really get into it and are able to do it a lot. If you can't go out, you know, like I'll just say this. If you can't if you don't have the time to kayak to fish once a week, like during prime fishing season, like I fish multiple times a week, but if you don't have the time to fish at least once a week, you probably shouldn't waste the money on something so nice because even though it'll make your fishing trip a lot nicer, you're not really it's going to take so many fishing trips before you finally get your money back. Like you need something that will be worth your money. Like you're going to take it out every day. Hey, you probably want to look at something by Bonafide or something with trolling motors and all the all the everything. The nice fish finders and everything. Like you might be looking at that. But if you're someone like me, if I'm lucky, I get to go out multiple times a week. I just went 3 days in a row on my kayak. Um, I probably will be going out on my kayak. We'll see. Maybe Sunday will be my next day. That's probably my next opportunity I'll have is Sunday. But definitely, that's gear on the table is kayaks. So let's get into our main topic. We ran that a little long, but I think everything will be fine. Um, I guess you want to explain our main topic?
So we're gonna do our dream hunting and fishing trip and where it would be or who it would be with. However, whatever you choose. So we'll let you go first. We're gonna do
I've been talking for a while.
uh hunting or fishing first.
Let's go with fishing. We're on fishing, so let's go with fishing.
So probably probably somewhere in Alaska. Somewhere any type of fishing in Alaska would be a really nice trip. Something I would hadn't done before and could fly fish and You can even go crab fishing, everything in Alaska. So probably Alaska for fishing. But if it was fishing with a person, probably Bill Dance or Jeremy Wade. It'd have to be either one of those two.
Man, if I could fish with Jeremy Wade, I would give my left kidney. Like, hey, Jeremy Wade, if your son or grandson needs a left kidney, I'll gladly donate it. Just take me fishing. In fact, if you see someone else that needs a kidney, just take me fishing. So, in Alaska, like, do you know much about where you would try and fish or like what you would do?
For
You know?
sure, I would try some fly fishing for salmon.
Okay. So you um I know some people go out on like canoes and stuff. Would you want a canoe? What would you want to find a stream and wade or
I would do both. I'd canoe, I would wade.
okay.
I would get the full Alaskan experience.
Salmon would definitely be really fun. I know if I went to Alaska, I'd want to do like halibut.
That'd be fun
I'd
too.
want halibut. Um, I'd definitely want salmon. Be nice to catch some trout down there too. Uh, and really, I feel like if I go to Alaska, definitely running crabs. But when I think about Alaska, I think of that episode where Steven Ranella goes out crab fishing and then he does salmon fishing
Shrimp and
at the end of
everything.
it. Yeah, like
And then mussels,
yeah.
everything.
I think, man, that would be a nice trip up in Alaska. Uh, what if you did go with Jeremy Wade? Like, what would you try and go to? Would you go to somewhere he's been, or well, he's probably been everywhere, but
Anyone, we could recreate any one of the River Monsters episodes and I'd be happy. any, any one of the fish from the show River Monsters.
get you into that 1,000 pound stingray.
Yeah, anything. I don't even have to fish. I could just sit there on the boat.
Be the motor guy.
Yeah, just to do it, say I done it.
Okay.
It'd be real fun to hang out with Jeremy Wade. Get to learn some of the knowledge, like different techniques of fishing and everything.
Okay. So, I guess I'll go into it. My dream fishing spot. If I could go anywhere in the world, somewhere that has Goliath grouper. I have seen so many videos of people trying to fight those things, and that just looks ridiculously fun. If I could go out and fish for Goliath grouper, sailfish, and like sharks all in the same day, I would be in love. Like just watching those sailfish jump out of the water and completely pull drag, and watching the grouper just come up and completely swallow your fish, and then you're stuck. Like literally, you're supposed to keep the rod from hitting the boat, but those grouper will literally like it's glued to the boat, and you literally can't pick up the rod. You have a harness and everything that you can lean into, but there ain't no fighting a grouper, and I think that's why I want to fight him because that will be a trip, you know. Bluefin tuna, I'd love to fish bluefin tuna. Really, just something massive. Catch one of those massive fish. Now, honestly, if I was gonna go, it would have to be Jeremy Wade. There's no way, like any fisherman that wouldn't choose Jeremy Wade. There's especially around here. You know, we're redneck fishermen. Maybe if we were more largemouth fishermen, we were like specifically targeted. Maybe we'd say something more like Bill Dance. But with us being redneck fishermen, we fish for whatever bites. Jeremy Wade has to be the answer. He catches everything. You, I mean, there isn't a species he doesn't catch. Like, I think definitely Jeremy Wade.
What about your dream hunting trip?
Oh man, now you just said Alaska. My dream hunting trip, without a doubt, is Alaska. Camping up in the mountains and hunting caribou, hunting just, man, that sounds incredible. Just hunting and stalking some caribou, like with a black powder rifle or a bow, hunting a moose, hunting a bear. Like, there are so many species in Alaska that I would want to hunt. I'd like just going to the Yukon Valley and seeing all those beautiful mountains, all those beautiful lakes. Imagine, imagine going across in a canoe, then hiking up a mountain, and then stumbling across a giant moose, and you shoot it, and then you got it hanging up on your wall. Like, I don't think there could be something better to hang up on your wall than a trip like that. And a grizzly, that is like man's enemy. Like it when you think about a hunter versus a predator, like what predator would you want to hunt? A grizzly is really really common. They're hard to hunt. You have to get special permits, but man, that would be fun and terrifying. Just give me a 50 cal, please. But who would I go hunting with? That's the easiest question in the world. Steven Ranella. I would love to hunt with him. Man, he's more than a hunter and a fisherman. He's like he shares wisdom. He just knows a lot that outside of hunting. And he would be a great guy. I could go out and hunt with him and not see a single animal, and I would love every minute of it because I'd be with Steven Ranella. Now, would we be hunting together? I don't know. Usually he throws his buddy in a different stand and he disappears. But like if I was hunting and he was trying to help me get a turkey, which he hunts a lot of those, and I just had him in there and he was calling them in, and I'm sitting there waiting for the turkeys. Oh man, that would be awesome. Like him calling in a caribou or an elk, just him sitting there, and then I'm waiting to get the shot and draw my bow back, and man, that'd be amazing. I would love to hunt with Steven Ranella. In fact, if I could choose anyone, like if I had to choose Jeremy Wade to fish with or Steven Ranella to hunt with, I'd choose Steven Ranella. I think. I think I definitely look up to him a little bit more. But yeah. What about you, Jaden? What's your dream hunting spot?
So more, not so much a spot, more like a target species, and it'd be moose hunting with my dad, or anywhere in Africa for any animal is. It's always been a bucket list hunt for me and my dad together. So
Like a big Nile crocodile?
anything, like it could be kudu, it could be
Oh
giraffe,
man.
it could be
Giraffe? I
it,
don't know if I'd want to shoot a giraffe.
anything, anything that they would let us go over there and legally hunt. We would go and have
Just
it,
don't shoot
enjoy it.
just don't shoot Mufasa.
Like
Shoot Scar instead. Don't shoot Mufasa.
it's all anywhere to hunt a moose, elk, or Alaska would be like the number one spots, and it'd be with my dad. But outside of my dad, a celebrity to hunt with would either be Michael Waddell from Bone Collector or Pigman from the Pigman series.
Okay.
So could be any animal from turkey to hogs, and it'd be a blast to do. Could be anywhere in the world too, because those guys hunt a lot of places and a lot of different animals.
Okay, well, let's throw a curveball in there. What about going and catching turtles with Turtle Man?
That would be fun too.
Okay, I got a
Just
question for you.
hanging out with Turtle Man would be
Would you rather
legendary.
go and catch turtles with Turtle Man or go and trap skunks with Dirty Jobs guy?
Mike Rowe,
Micro.
man, we're going Turtle Man. I'm gonna go near a skunk again. I learned my lesson long ago.
Man, I swear, Mike Rowe's videos, like his show was like about the most disgusting stuff, and him getting into the skunk. I think even Turtle Man got into a skunk in a couple episodes, didn't he? He like took a bath in tomato
Yeah.
sauce. I think his dog got sprayed, and his dog took a bath with him, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Tomato sauce, guys. Tomato sauce. I went out to my barn. My cousin says, "Oh, a skunk!" And as soon as he said that, I turned for the hills and run. And he stares at it and it sprays him. He smelled absolutely disgusting. And then my dad came in there and shot it about 20 times with a 22. But my poor cousin. Oh man. I don't know why he didn't run. He just stood there and stared at it. He said a skunk, and I just was like, okay, I'm out of here. Like, I'm not staying around, man. A snake, I'll sit there and stare because it's not like a snake can strike 20 foot, you know. But a skunk, get especially when you're in a confined space like a barn, which was what we were in. Get out of there, please.
Run for the hills.
Yeah, and once you make it to the hill, run even farther.
Climb a tree. Sleep there for the night.
Well, you're saying, dream hunting spot. Let's do this. Would you rather catch a 17-pound largemouth bass or a 180-inch white-tailed deer with a rifle? Not a bow, just with a rifle.
We're gonna go with the largemouth on this one because that'd be setting a state record for me.
Yeah, that would be a massive state record. State record's like 15 or some 14 or
16 something.
16.
It'd beat it by just under a pound.
Yeah, that would be. If I had the chance on a 180-inch deer or a 17-pound bass, the 180-inch deer is probably my choice. Like, this sucker's probably, what would you say, 140, 130? Maybe one. No, it's probably
Probably
130,
high
140.
140s.
We're actually running low. We're doing good on time. I have an idea. You sit here, keep the camera busy.
I have no idea what he is going to do. Wherever he went, he took off running to do it. Here he comes.
Okay. You keep them busy?
Somewhat.
So, Let's just get into our campfire question. I know you didn't see this. What's the strangest deer you have seen, killed, maybe your brother killed and you just saw it mounted? What's like the weirdest deer? This came from a viewer, and they were just curious what the strangest one we've seen is.
Well, personally, probably the public land deer my dad shot. It's one side, when he had shot the deer, he'd only really got a good look at one side of him, and the one side is like this nice, good looking, perfect on one side. Well, he shoots it, gets up to it, and that other side is a disaster. The other side has got a tine wrapped around the ear, little kickers kicking off everywhere. It's got technically two main beams where it's like split off, like trying to fork two different directions. But like instead of being like nice and perfect and fanned out on one side, the other side is like all close together, like almost cactus rack style on one side. But what about you? You seen any weird deer?
The strangest deer I have seen, it I say it's the strangest deer, but it was like this might qualify as more the scariest deer I've seen. But I'm out hunting and I'm heading home from the stand and I'm shining a light and I see eyes reflect and I look, same color as deer eyes. And the way it's just looking at me is kind of really creepy and weird. And it was just, I would kind of, I had someone hunting with me and they were kind of freaking out and I was saying it was nothing to worry about because in reality, I could tell it was a deer. They were freaking out saying it's a cryptid or something, but yeah, I kind of got those vibes, but I think it was just a deer that was super curious what was happening, but in the moment it was very strange. It was I even talked to it and its head would swing around and look back towards us and then it would kind of look around and I don't know. It ended up running off at the end, but that was a very weird deer. I've never seen one act the way that did. Normally they just kind of run or the bright light scares them after a minute. So I don't really understand it. I have seen a deer though, uh, with a stick, and it ran away with a stick in it. Oh wait, I shot that deer. That's a different story. But I want to bring a special segment. I know we haven't done. We only have 6 segments, but I'm bringing a special segment just for today's episode because we were just talking about this. I asked my dad what this deer scores. Me and Jaden, we are going to figure out right now. Special segment time. Ba-da-ba-bum. Bum. So let's go ahead and see how to score him. And I've scored a deer before, but it has been a while. So score a whitetail buck. Okay. So let's go ahead and take him out. If you can do the honors of holding him. So let's get. I use my phone as a calculator. So first off, we're gonna score the main beam length from the burr where the antler meets the pedicle to the tip. So that means right here, right?
Uh, yes.
Okay. Or actually, the main the main. It's
Pull
probably
up, pull up an image.
yeah. Let's pull up an image. It might be this length here. No, it's not. I don't know. Let's see.
So from here to the bend, right there.
Oh, measure each antler's main beam from the burr. Okay, so let's measure that first. That's what it wants us to measure first. So measure each one. So let's start off with this right side. How many spikes points does it have? That's definitely one.
6 on one.
Okay, so this would technically be a non-typical, guys, because it has these hind points. So we're looking at 2 and let's say 2.3. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
2.3. Um, it's charging, so it should be fine. We're still recording. We're probably okay. So that's 4.5, and then let's measure the next one. Okay. Let's get right here. That's 8 3/4. So 8.75 plus the next one. Looks like 8.5. Man. And the main beam length. Right at 9.5. If you'll turn it around the other way.
Did you measure there to there?
It just means the points, I think, right now, is what we're measuring. Let's measure all the points. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely measure that snub.
I don't think that one counts.
You don't think it counts?
No, not.
You can
Not
definitely fit a
officially.
ring around it. Okay, then we won't score it. And let's do this upside down. That's 3.25. Okay. Oh, and here. Turn it all the way backwards so I can measure from the same side for each one. That way. Okay. 8.5. Now let's score this side right here. And then we can check with. We might check on that group, Facebook group, and see what they think it scores. Oh man, that couldn't be closer to 10 inches. It's right at it's 9 3/4. Okay. Oh, sweet. It's interesting. It's got this point, which is definitely a point.
Yeah,
I'd say 2 1/4.
I think that one.
I don't think. I don't think we'll count that one either. Okay, and then finally, we're counting that. This is not gonna be as long. Kind of sucks because of that. 5 3/4.
Yep.
Okay. Now we need to score all the. I think we need to score. It's like the actual beam lengths. So let's see.
Yeah, main beam length. So, so that would be from where it connects to the bend right here on each side, and then you'll do around it at the base, like the circumference of it. Yeah, see, this will be what we just did. This is what we. That's from here to here. Like if you go to this, link the main beam from there to there.
Okay, so it's the.
From there to the bend.
Okay.
Right where it rounds off. So about right there.
Let's see if we can get it on the curved side, because that's probably more accurate, right?
Yeah. Probably stop right there.
Scene. Let's see if we can get it.
See, like
One
7
second.
and 3/4.
Yeah, I think you're right. See if you can press your finger somewhere on it. We're gonna say 7 1/2.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say 7.5.
Now we need to do the same on the other side.
Okay.
From there to about here.
8.10, I think, is what I'm gonna give it.
Now we need to do the diameter around them. Yeah. So you take 4 different measurements from H1 to H4. So
Okay, so
base to in here.
so this is definitely the base then.
Yep.
Okay, so let's see what that measures at. Looks like 4 3/4.
Now right here.
Okay. Can you do the thickest part of the beam, or do you do the same spot on the beam? How does it exactly work?
It's got it marked out right there.
That's 3 3/4.
And then we go right here. We go right here and then right here.
Okay. It's actually wider. 4. So it gets wider right there.
Yeah, because of this. And then right here.
Yep, that looks probably the narrowest we've measured. That's not quite 3.5. It's 3 and what's in between a quarter and a half? 3/8. What's that in decimal? 3 3/8.
Not sure.
Here, actually, let's do it like this. It's almost here. Let's see. It's almost 3.5. 3.5 is 3.5. 3 1/4 is 3.25. In between them is 3 point
3.
like 3.37. Wait, that's a difference of 25. 25 and a half is 12 and a half. So 25 plus 12 and a half is 37.5.
Yeah.
So we'll say 3.37. Okay. Now the other side.
Same thing on the other side.
Okay. So the main base, which this one's going to be harder to measure. This guy put these ears on stiff, man.
That one is basically right at 5.
It's twisted around though. Let's see if I can get it straight, because twisting it around will give it more length than it actually is. Looks like it's just under 4 3/4. It's 4 point, let's see, 5 plus 12 is 62. 4.62.
And then we'll do it right here.
Okay.
Right
Can you
there.
put it back on your lap or something?
Oh man, that water just spilled. So I did not want to do that.
Okay. Exactly 4. Let's just remember that. And 3.5.
And then right here.
One sec. Are you able to do there? Because it doesn't have a point after it.
Yeah, you just do where it would originally be. So, right here.
Okay. And I got 3 1/4.
Now all I think is left is go down and then just inside spread.
No, we also do. We need to do this length, the length between each points.
What does it say that at?
That's actually the first.
That's what we just did.
That's the points.
You did the points first. We did that second, and then we just did the antler mass. That's where we measured from here to there. That was the main beam length.
Oh, okay.
So we're on underneath this. Go down. We would be on inside spread, and I think that is like here to here. You need to see the picture. Yeah. So
Where
edge
it's
to edge.
widest.
Yeah, edge to edge
Okay,
right
so
here.
let's turn it towards me.
Just go point to point.
Okay. It's 0. We're looking at. Oh man, that's close. Do you measure the inside?
Inside, yeah.
Okay. So we're looking at 15.5. That's what we're looking at.
And then
Is that really the widest though? Do you try and find the widest or?
Yeah, right there.
Right there it says, yeah, it looks like 15.5.
And then you factor in this last little irregular point.
Which one?
This one.
Okay. Which is 3/4 of an inch. So what did we say?
0.75.
Plus 0.75 and plus 15 what?
And a
15
half.
and a half. So we got 126. This is an irregular point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Question is, oh no. Well, can you even score it? I'm gonna say half an inch. I swore there's a measurement where you measure each of these lengths. Like you measure here, 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 here. Maybe not.
Around. Shrinkage due to moisture loss.
Yeah. Which this thing has been well over a year harvested. It's been harvested for a while. Okay. But we're going to go ahead and call that the final number. So here you guys go. We might have did it wrong. We will double check. But 126.24 is the final number for the buck. And once again, I'm Christian.
And I'm Jaden. And this is Echoes in the Timber. This has been a good episode.
It's been pretty good. May your campfires burn bright.
May your adventures be worth telling.
And may the echoes in the timber always lead you home.
Yeah. Latro.